In the beginning of the show, I talked about a cigarette tin, whether you open it up and you roll your smoke. So this is the next stage. I think the ladies may have had that. You sort of rolled up your cigarette and you slotted them all into this, so it was all ready to smoke. So you just shove it in your pocket. When you wanted to smoke, you just got it out, pushed the button and got yourself out of smoke. And you could put tailor-mades in there, so you had to bounce them for some reason, stick them in your gob. I never smoked, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is a little flash cigarette holder from back in the day. You just had that in your pocket or in your purse and you're ready to start smoking. I just thought I'd show you that. I'm going to kick off with the final interview we had at the Rangiora Muscle Car Show, a man called Paul. Paul is an expert in the art of a sport called burnouts. He also has an interesting share, so let's have a chat with Paul. With me is Paul, and Paul, welcome to our little show.
Cheers.
And you've got a unique car here. It's a Chev.
Yep.
And it's got SS on the front. What does that stand for?
Super Sport.
Super Sport.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And this has got a hatch, which is unusual.
Yeah, yep.
Perhaps tell me about it.
They only made the Nova and a hatch for 73 and 74, so we were looking for one for the wife. We actually wanted a 70, but we found this in LA with 23 hours left in the country and it was too clean to leave. So,
Really?
And it was in original paint, but patinaed, a forest green. So I gave the wife 3 stripping discs for Christmas and she bare metaled it herself, and here we are now. She picked all the colour. It's her car, so yeah.
Is that the original engine?
No, that went in last week.
Okay.
It did have its stock standard 350 in there.
Yeah.
But we've just put that in there with 383, about 430 horse. And
So that makes the sit-uppers take notice?
yeah, well, the old motor was about 130 horse, I think it was that tired, so it's a fairly different car.
Yeah, wow.
Then we've got all tubular arms and double adjustable coilovers and all that in it, so it goes quite well like a wee go-kart.
I have to say it looks later than 73 or 74.
What it is the 73, 74s had the big impact bumpers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So this has got a 72 bumper or 70 bumper, and we removed the indicators out of the grille. And on the rear bumper we tucked it 2 inches and narrowed it in 4. And yeah, blacked all the trim out, which was...
Is that leather, the trim?
No, it's the original. We've done the seat covers, but the rest of it's all original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
But no, all the trim around the doors and the windows that's been blacked out, trying to put it all back on and not scratch it was fun.
Okay. Yeah, black's not a good colour. Well,
No.
dark grey's not a good colour to scratch.
It left the factory wheels but changed the caps a bit and blacked them out so it all suits, and yeah.
Sure.
But because it was all blacked out, we gave her a bit of jewellery.
So how hard was that to find in America?
Very hard to find a clean one.
Really?
Yeah, we looked at a lot of them and they were rusty or they were beaten up or had modifications that were never going to go on the road in New Zealand.
It's over 40 years old.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, it is. 81's the new 40.
Yeah. So no, we're pretty happy with it. She wanted something different to everyone else, and I've got the big rusty supercharged 58 Chev, and so we've got the rusty one and the shiny one.
Wow. Paul, I understand you know a little bit about burnouts. I mean, we went to Jury Tyres and they had an event there for motorbikes.
Yep.
And they set this motorbike on the ground and away it went, just smoke and shit everywhere.
Yep.
Is that the same with cars, and what sort of skills do you need for that?
Well, it's more about public enjoyment, so you want to be throwing it around. The big thing's try and get as much smoke instantly as you can. So like my car, I started in second and then whack it into top gear straight away and get 250, 280k out of the wheels.
And it's going nowhere.
Oh no, we're going around.
Oh,
Yeah, no, not stationary. Yeah.
Okay.
And on a little pad like that, when you've got a 58 Chev, she's pretty hard to stay on at times.
Right. Did you have special tyres for that? Or
No, I just use brand new ones and they last about a minute.
really?
Yeah.
1 minute?
Yeah.
Good God.
We have used coloured ones, but they're $350 a pair now, so we don't use them too often now.
Oh, gosh.
But yesterday I used, 9.5 litres in 1 minute of fuel.
Do you have to have the safety gear?
Yeah,
And a helmet?
yeah.
And all
Put
the
the
rest of
helmet
it?
on,
Yeah.
yeah. And since the car's got a bit more serious, now got the overalls instead of just long sleeves.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We went to a truck racing show, and everybody's got their fireproof boots on, the helmet,
Yeah.
the goggles, the whole. Is it?
Yeah, but it's getting more and more like that as our New Zealand scene gets a lot more serious.
Okay. Okay.
We're nowhere near up with the Aussies and that, but with a lot of the cars running methanol now, you can't see flames and stuff. It pays to be as safe as you can.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And you enjoy that?
I've been doing it in that car for over 13 years. This is its 13th year here. Yeah, I travel to Invercargill and do burnouts down there if I can. And
Wow.
a lot of the guys today are going to Auckland on the 2nd of February for the New Zealand Champs. There's $10,000 up
So
for
there's
that.
there's a whole business around.
Oh yes,
this.
yep. And a lot of the North Island guys have started coming down for our one down here now. So yeah, you'll have to come and have a look.
Yeah, we will.
Yep.
What time's that on? About half an hour or so?
1:30 it kicks off,
Yeah.
which I've actually got to head away and go and get ready
right.
now.
Good on you, Paul.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Paul, the SS chef. Beautiful.
Thank you.
This Christmas, I led a four-wheel drive trek up through the valley, up behind here and down, not far up the road, and then we came down this road past here and onto Rangiora. And as we passed out, I thought, oh God, look at that car!
Paddock full of trucks.
Paddock full of trucks. And so we've come back, and welcome to our little show, Ken. And
Welcome, Bill.
excellent. So we're going to start with the old comma, and Ken says there's a sloper engine in it, which is they put it on their side, and the reason they did that so it was relatively flat across the cab. You know, these three
They could fit three big blokes inside.
Yes, and the split in the windscreen, I think that left about 1958 or 59.
No, somewhere around there.
Around about there.
Yep.
So this one makes us about 54, 55.
Somewhere around there, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, 55.
And each year, comma would actually sort of extend the bars or shorten the bars or lower the bars or do something with the bars
Yep.
to make it a bit different.
Yep, yep.
And you may have seen Ken just
Flip that open.
little thing here. And that's for the crank handle, which is just offside a wee bit. So you don't see that any day.
No, not anymore.
No.
Well, that's because that's where the centre of the crank is and the pistons are out this side.
That's right, because it's
It's
on its
on
own.
the slope.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
The sloper. And did it have a particular sound? You could hear these things, or was that
Well, the last one was a bang. That was a
rattle,
timing out
rattle.
of gear.
Oh. And the little
Radiator cap.
radiator cap.
Yeah.
But there's just something about
That.
that truck that's
Yep.
cute.
Yep.
Cute. It's a
Yep.
cute
Yep.
truck. And I'm just looking at the colour scheme and thinking maybe it came from Invercargill. And the only reason I say that is because the one they have in Invercargill in Richardson's museum is similar.
Okay.
Yeah. The only thing with it is it's the original one of these. It hasn't got a little window here. It's just got one window at the back.
Oh, okay.
And this was up here.
Yep, they put them on, had them on there at the first, and all the drivers would knock them off with
That's
the
what
boots.
happened. Yeah, with the boots. Yeah.
So they put them on
And the other thing was, you try and get in the bloody thing and it's a bit slippery and you're on your ass, you know. And I just seem to remember that this was just a little round,
yeah, little coffee cup.
little coffee cup mirror. And some of them had the little arm
Oh yes, yeah.
back in the day.
We've got one of those in the garage.
Have you?
Yeah, got a little shop meet somewhere.
So it's just great to see a comma in a paddock. Not doing anything too much, but
Just put in there.
yeah.
That was local farmer had it for the last 20 years, and then I got a hold of it.
There's a bloke called Buff Wedding, and
Yep.
and he said to me, "We didn't make any money till we got commas." Yeah, so they're a robust truck.
Yeah, they were the backbone of the trucking industry.
Absolutely. An Austin Lodestar. Now, I just got to tell you, Ken, when I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we go to Grandma's for the holidays.
Yeah.
And Grandma was married to Norm Nicholson. I think it was her third husband. So Norm Nicholson was a carrier in Turua, which is not far from Thames. And in the morning we'd climb in there and he'd have a sock, like a beer bottle with tea in it, wrapped up in newspaper and in a sock. And you know, so it stayed hot till about morning tea.
That was his morning tea, his thermos.
Yes, that's right. And we'd sit in there and off we go to collect the cream cans. So we pull up a side of cream can, we'd all pile off and
Roll them across.
roll them all across, and then put a rope, because there's no straps that day, so
put a rope around them.
Rope, tie them on.
Yep.
And then we go off to the next one, and the next one till it was full. And then we go to Natia and unload them all. And then we go home for lunch. And then in the afternoon, you put a crate on and go and shift some stock, or put sides on and go and shift some metal.
Oh, really?
But it was just one of those general purpose
trucks.
carriers. Yeah, and this was sort of, but you know, when you're 10, 11, you're about this high looking up.
Yeah, yeah.
And you think, what a massive truck. But it did all that work, continued, and as did probably hundreds of others around the country.
Yes, yeah. Well, I think Bill might have one down there. They changed it. You see how the nose goes across like that?
Yeah.
Well, they took out from there to there and brought that up to here.
Oh.
So they could get 2 more rows of cream cans on the back.
Really?
That's how they did it, because they must have been restricted on their length.
Yeah.
So they shifted that up to here, because that just unbolted.
Yep.
And made a short bonnet for it.
And got another couple of cream cans on.
Yeah, and you got 2 more rows of cream cans across the deck.
There's one in west of Invercargill, and it was called Pinocchio. And Pinocchio had a 6-cylinder engine in it, and so they've extended this out to about here, and extended the bonnet, and they've got this nose on it. And it went from where it lived out to Bluff and back again each day. Pinocchio had Pinocchio written across the side here. But things you did in those days, you have no show of ever doing today.
No, you'd have to have a good engineer to change stuff for you nowadays.
But I just remember looking at this A, you know, sitting in there, looking at the A going along. Yeah, so
this was all seized up, it came out of a shed, but it's a project one day for somebody.
Yeah, it's got the long doors, this, and then somewhere around about 58 or 59 they had a short door.
Yep.
But the rest of it was still there, they just shortened the door.
This was why our transport had this one first.
Oh, okay.
It was their truck in their fleet.
Pride and joy at some stage.
Would have been.
Yeah. Oh well, we're going to see what else he's got hidden away here. What I've got here is a copy of Talking Trucks. This is a book I wrote a couple of years ago, and it's the history of New Zealand trucking. And it's all from the programs that I did between 2013 and 2016. I'm going to let this go for $25. So it's a special. So if you'd like your copy, there's my phone number, 027 277 0717. Just send me a text, or email me, billhohepa@extra.co.nz to get your copy. $25 and the history of New Zealand trucks. The second Wheels at Wanaka event is on this coming Easter in 2021, and that's on Saturday and Sunday the 3rd and 4th of April. They're planning a bigger and brighter event with more vehicles and machines working as well as on display. Cars, trucks, tractors, traction engines, scrapers, dozers, graders, the lot. If it's got wheels, it'll be represented at this amazing event. They're having an earth moving only day on Good Friday the 2nd of April, and there's a $10 entry for this. So go to the webpage www.wheelsatwanaka.co.nz for more information. We'll be there filming the event, so we look forward to seeing you there. Hi, it's Bill Hohepa here. I've had my Mahindra pickup 4x4 now for 6 years. I've taken it to some of the most challenging four-wheel drive treks in the country, and I've been pleasantly surprised just how well it performs. So call Mahindra New Zealand on 0800 282 726 to find a dealer near you, and I can tell you, you won't be disappointed. So Ken, I'd have to say this is probably your pride and joy.
It is at the moment, yes.
This is the one that you transport around the place, or drive around the place to the various truck do's that happen from time to time.
Yep.
And we're going down to Wanaka to film all that, the Wheels at Wanaka, and you're going to bring this?
Yes, I am going to bring this. I had it down there last time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was in the parade. Yeah, did all of that.
I must have a look at my footage because we had a drone up and sort of
did
watching
you?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me up in there?
Yeah. So, first thing you notice, there's a ton of room in here.
A lot of room.
Yeah, plenty of room to swing
Just
that
about
steering
sleep
wheel.
in here.
Power steering.
No, strong
So,
arm.
strong arm.
Strong arm power steering.
Lovely big pedals to sort
Yep,
of that
you
come
can't
under.
miss those.
Yep.
No.
And you can feather the brake.
Yep. Look, it's got good brakes on it at the moment. I'm really pleased with the brakes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the 2-speed button there, is it electric? Oh,
That's
it is
electric.
too. Yep.
Yep. That's the old 2-speed Eaton. Yep.
Awesome. And the little accelerator here looks like it's had a bit of a
Yeah, it's had a
alteration.
modify. It's got a bit of checker plate on it.
Yeah. Does the heater go?
Yes, it does.
Really?
Yep. Very noisy though.
Oh, wow.
That's a Hurricane when it's going.
Yeah, so the do at Wheels of Wanaka is in April, so I suppose it's cooling
Should be
down
still
a
a
wee
wee
bit.
bit warm. It was fairly cool last time we were down there, but the days were good.
Yeah. I like the little dashboard all in one
All in one.
little pod thing there.
Yep.
And is that a rev counter? What is that?
Yes, that's a rev counter. That was in it when I got it. So it's got a red line there, so you don't take it over or you'll be walking home.
Fair enough.
That'll look after it.
Yeah. And it's got a gear, a glove box.
Yes.
Oh, it's in the middle.
Yep.
Okay.
In the middle there.
Wow, everything you can want. And a tipper.
Yes, that's a tipper. That's for the PDO.
Yep.
And the other lever's not in there. I haven't bothered putting any oil in there
No, fair enough.
because it's
Yeah.
that old. It'll just fiddle out as I'm driving around. They'll have more peas than me.
Oh, marvellous.
Yeah.
Marvellous. Oh, well, let's go and have a look and see what else you've got.
Yeah, sure.
Ken, the old GMC, absolute legend
hard.
in New Zealand.
Yep.
And what they didn't do really wasn't worth doing, was it really?
No.
The logs and the big sacks of grain and all sorts of things they carted. They've put a crane on the back
Crane
of
on the
this.
back of this one, yeah.
And they've chopped out half the cab there to
Sit the boom in.
sit the boom and sit out here somewhere. They've extended the front here with a winch on the
it.
front.
Yep.
And she must have been one hell of a workhorse back in its day. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think this one took 2 people to drive it.
Really?
The driver had to put his foot on the brakes while the other guy dug with it, or to just pull himself along, pull himself backwards.
Wow. There was a bloke in the Bay of Plenty who bought one of these, and he wanted to sit 3 guys in it, so that they split the cab like they've done with this
Yeah.
thing, and they spread it and
middle
welded in 6 inches. And they thought, while we're doing this, let's drop a V8 in it. So they did that as well. Yeah, so
Fun.
absolutely.
Very fun.
But just to see this sitting here, New Zealand history, I'm
Yeah,
sure it
is,
wasn't all
Yeah.
when it was on the road last, probably in the 60s, I would say.
Yep.
And from the time they built it, it would have worked its bum off.
Oh,
yeah.
would have, yeah.
Yeah.
Priestman crane on the back.
Priestman? Oh,
Priestman,
okay.
Ruston,
Yeah, one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting up in there, with all those levers, and we did a story on a drag line, and he has to throw the bucket and everything has to
To get
be
it out,
just
to
so.
get the distance.
A bit
Yep.
like casting a free spool
Yep.
reel. If you
Yep.
stuff it up, it.
Yep, looks all silly.
But no, it's just great to see this piece of New Zealand history.
Thing in here.
Absolutely great. The Thames Trader. There must have been hundreds and hundreds of them
Hundreds of them, yeah.
come into the country in the sort of the late 50s and early 60s, but they were absolutely everywhere. But the thing about them was they had this little door,
Yeah, yeah.
that little sort of stepping,
Yeah, you needed a lot of those.
get in the thing. But if you're young and fit, you just sort of went step, bang,
Straight
shut
in,
the door.
yep.
Yeah, and I see they've got a little step here for the
Yep.
stepping onto the deck, and a grip handle here. It looks like
You
part
don't
of it.
realise your boots have got to go way down into here once you're on the seat.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the resting place for your boots. So you've got this big pillar here you've got to get your body around.
Exactly, Mo. And I see it's got a
boot cooler.
little door there that you can open up and keeps your feet cool. Back in the day, the whole bloody windscreen opened up and all the air could come in, not on these, but on other trucks. The windscreen sort of
Yep,
sat
they
out,
popped
and
up, didn't they?
those GMCs could
Yep.
do that.
Yep.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But these two had their time in history.
They did. Yeah,
There's
they
a
did.
bloke called Jackie Mitchell. He lives down in Cronidon, in just north of Reefton, and he's got 3 of these that he's used at the time, and he drove them up this big hill, Garvey's I think it was called, the coal mine at the top.
Yeah.
They'd load them up with coal,
Yeah.
and he'd
Roared
bring them
down.
down and dump them into railway wagons and do it all over again.
Round and round and round.
But what he did, when it was time for an oil change, he'd pour all his oil into the cavity of the cab, so his
Stop it rusting.
they just look as immaculate as they did when he got
'Cause you
them.
can wash that out, but you
Yeah.
can't wash the rust out.
No, you can't.
No,
Yeah.
no.
So anyway, so that was Jackie Mitchell. He had
I think
a
we
good
went to
one.
his sheds when on one of the South Island.
Oh, you probably did, yeah. There's a few of these still about.
Mhm.
The last one, the military, of course, had four-wheel drive versions
Oh,
before they had the RL Bedfords. They
Yep.
had four-wheel drive
Of
of
these, yep.
as did England.
Yep.
And they were very popular because my grandmother's second husband, not the third, the second, he drove one of these collecting cream cans for the Turua dairy company.
Yep.
And I always thought it was just the cutest truck, just that little grill, and
Yep,
it just makes it
wide
look
bonnet.
easy to get in, you know, sort of.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't know what it was like going up steep hills with a load on, but it was probably like everything else, sort of 2-3 miles an hour.
Yep. You get her in the low crawler and just toddle
Yeah,
along.
yeah. And I just remember he used to back it up, have his foot on the accelerator, twisted around like this, and watching where he's going backwards, steering with his left hands,
Yep.
speeding it up with his left foot.
Yep.
And when he got there, he just sort of step off, and he was there. And the running board was
Yep.
very handy for that.
Handy for that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, they were back in the day. Yeah.
I think this was a six-cylinder, straight engine.
Yep. I think they're the Humber Super Snipe engine.
That's what they
That's
were.
what they are.
Yeah. So if you had a Humber Super Snipe, you've made it. You were there.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Bloody big long front and
Yep.
big comfy seats
Yep.
and
Car to ride in. Yep.
the car to ride in. Yeah.
Yep.
But it's just good to see one. As I say, they had their time in the sort of late
Yep.
40s,
Yep.
early 50s, and I'm sure they were still working into the 60s. Some of them.
Yeah, this one probably even the 70s when carting hay and stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
right. Yeah.
Yep. For a farm like
And
Belfast.
that's another thing. You got roped into hay duty.
Yeah.
You're 12 years old. Get in there.
Yep.
Hang
On
on
the
to their
back,
steering
straight on the
wheel.
back,
And
yep.
so you sort of steer the thing around. They're all doing the hay. You're sitting there bloody
Yeah, round the rows.
driving this truck. And I think that's what's missing today.
Hands
They're
on.
saying they're absolutely desperate for drivers,
Yeah.
but they've cut their throat. The day they said no kids,
Yeah.
that's the day it all started to
Yeah,
turn to
'cause
custard.
You grew up
Yeah,
all the way through here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Riding in the cab and
yeah.
seeing
And
Dad
you
working.
get this, oh, I'm going to do this when
Yeah,
I grow up.
go
You
for
know,
a truck ride.
you inspired them.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Among Ken's old trucks is an A-Series Bedford. And I'm telling Ken about one of my experiences with one when I worked for Ridgeway Circus back in the day. And we came down this windy hill and got to the bottom. This car passed us, pulled us over, and he said, "You lost one of your trailers back there." Because at the time, and I could see people still doing it, people had a car, a caravan and a boat.
Yep.
And they could pull the whole three.
Together.
Yeah. And I had a lion cage and a a two-axle caravan, which was the single men's quarters.
Yep.
And so anyway, I wound in the hill and he said, "You lost one of your trailers back there." And we thought, shit, the lion. So we all sprang out, three of us. But the lion was fine. But in the back of the lion cage was a tow ball and it had snapped off.
Yeah.
So we parked the lion on the side of the road. Went back up the hill to find our caravan, and there it was down this bit of a ravine, so I said, well, I can stay there. So we got into Gisborne and told Charlie that we'd lost his,
Lost his trailer.
and he looked at us, he looked at me, he looked at the second guy, he looked at the third guy, then he said, "Don't lie to me." "What?" He said, "You've sold it." What? You look at the tow bar, it's, yeah. Oh, I don't believe, he didn't believe. So he went out, got in his car and went out and had a look for himself
Yeah,
and
look
came
for
back and
himself.
said, "Fair enough, we'll have to buy another one." Yes. So that was my, my memorable experience with a series Bedford.
Two steps. Nice and easy. Good view up here.
I see the seat went down. Can you adjust the way it
It's a
bounces?
spring one, not an air one.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it's set here.
Yep.
Yep. Lots of good vision up here.
And the gearbox is a
18 speed.
18-speed Road Ranger.
There's two over there, so I grabbed one of them. Took the 9 speed out and put an 18 in it.
Yeah, right.
No,
No, you're sitting way up in the air there, that's for sure,
No,
absolutely.
it's good. You can see what's going on. That's the beauty of big trucks like this. You can see what's going on further ahead.
Yeah, you're over the head of everybody. Good on you, Ken.
Yep.
Thank you very, very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Absolutely amazing sort of playground you've got here.
It's a lovely wee playground, isn't it?
It is,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the history, and it's people like you who keep New Zealand
Yep.
history alive.
Keeping them rolling.
And no, it's you're a credit to the country. Absolutely a credit.
Yep.
Yeah. So good on you, mate.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Linda.
There you go, folks. Ken. The second Wheels at Wanaka event is on this coming Easter in 2021, and that's on Saturday and Sunday, the 3rd and 4th of April. They're planning a bigger and brighter event with more vehicles and machines working as well as on display. Cars, trucks, traction engines, scrapers, dozers, graders, the lot. If it's got wheels, it'll be represented at this amazing event. They're having an earth moving only day on Good Friday the 2nd of April, and there's a $10 entry for this. So go to their webpage www.wheelsatwanaka.co.nz for more information. You can do the Mackley from either the Westport end or the Murchison end. We did it from the Murchison end. You head south from Murchison and turn right onto the road that goes to Westport. About 35k down that road you'll come to what they call the Iron Bridge. This bridge is controlled by lights, and before going onto the bridge you turn right into New Creek Road. You go along New Creek Road for about half a k and that turns to the left and goes into Pensini Road. And about 1k down Pensini Road, on the right, you'll see the Mackley track heading off to the right. You follow this track for about 10 kilometres and you'll come to the Mackley River at the bottom of a very steep hill. Once there, you need to first of all make sure the river is crossable. You can see quite plainly the bank on the other side where the track comes out, and that's where you have to head for. Well, Ralph's all set. We've seen the way across, which by the way is in the complete opposite direction from when we were here a couple of 3 years ago. Slim in the red shirt has walked over and back, and we've assessed how deep the river is. It looks a bit bumpy, but Ralph's made it across and up the steep bank on the other side. Next up is our youngest member of the team, young Liam, who's real keen to give this crossing a go. Liam's been looking forward to this trip for months, and it's finally here. And he's going to enjoy every minute of it. His truck also bounces its way across, and the river is well clear of his headlights, but he's equipped with a snorkel, so he'll be fine. He too gets up the steep ramp on the other side. It's a beautiful day, quite contrary to all the reports of rain in the South Island we've been hearing on the way down. Next up is Brian, and he's also equipped with a snorkel, and he's pretty excited about going across this river as well. He too bumps his way across. The only thing is though, he's left his mate Chris on the other side, so poor old Chris has to walk over and hope he doesn't fall over. Next up is Slim and his wife Janina, and they're in their brand new 70 series. Slim, who's been with us several times before, joined our group just to do the tracks on the west coast. It's always great to have him and Janina along with us. Last up is Ralph and Jan in their Jeep, and they too also have a snorkel, so there won't be any problem at all. So everybody's across except the 3 trucks without snorkels. We've decided not to send the trucks without snorkels across because of the real possibility of water getting into the air intakes and hydraulicking the engines. So we've sent them back via the main road. The rest of the group made their way across the rest of the track to the Denniston mine and then down the hill to Westport, where we met up with them and we all stayed the night.